38% of Indian employees in a survey shows signs of burnout, which is also known as work-related stress. 41% employees are with registered symptoms of depression and 40% are exhibiting anxiety symptoms as per Business Standard Review. A study conducted across geographies showed that in India, toxic workplace behavior is dominant, accounting for approximately 90% of explained variance for every outcome. While 1 in 4 employees worldwide are experiencing symptoms of burnout, and that figure is even higher for Asia, nearing 1 in 3.
Recently, the World Health Organization recognized burnout as an occupational phenomenon.
Jacinda Ardern has resigned as New Zealand's Prime Minister. She announced last week that she didn't have enough energy to continue.
Burnout, not just a figure of speech anymore. It's actually been declared a legitimate medical diagnosis by the World Health Organization.
Burnout syndrome has now become a common reason for medical excuses from work, and thus an important topic in health-related economics. What are the symptoms of burnout and what causes it, and how you could avoid it or treat it, we'll be looking in this video. I'm Amit Deshpande and you are with Medical Mysteries. This is a place where you get health reviews strongly backed with scientific literature. In a few moments from now, we'll be looking at the criteria by which burnout might be diagnosed and classified. At the end of the video, I will also tell you how burnout is different from depression and what the experts say about it. So stay tuned and watch till the end. Coined by the psychologist Herbert Friedenberger in 1970s, burnout describes a severe stress condition that leads to severe physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion. Much worse than ordinary fatigue, burnout makes it challenging for you to cope with stress and handle day-to-day responsibilities. Burnout may make you have a pessimistic outlook towards life and feel hopeless. According to practicing psychologists, burnout doesn't go away on its own. If left untreated, it can lead to serious physical and psychological illnesses like depression, heart disease, and diabetes. It was 1982 when psychologist Herbert Friedenberger and Gail North outlined the symptoms and reasons for burnout. If you have few of these symptoms, which I'll be telling you now, there is a fair chance that you are suffering from a burnout. You are burned out if you are feeling exhaustion, feeling physically and emotionally depleted since a few weeks. You have headaches, you get stomach aches, you have change in appetites and sleep. With all this, if you are feeling more isolated and overwhelmed, and you have stopped socializing and confiding with friends, family members and co-workers, this could be a burnout. If you are dissatisfied with never-ending demands of your job, you fantasize about running away or going on a solo vacation, and you are turning to drugs, alcohol or food as a way to numb your emotional pain, this could be a burnout. On top of this, if you feel irritable and frequently lose your cool with friends, co-workers and family members quite more often, and you are finding it difficult to cope with normal stresses like preparing for a work meeting, driving kids to school and doing household tasks, that's again a sign of burnout. Your frequent illnesses could also be because of burnout, which is lowering your immune system, making you more susceptible to cold, flu and insomnia. These days, if you lack direction and are behaving more cynical, you feel social invitations to parties, movies and dinner dates feel burdensome instead of being enjoyable, and you are becoming more aggressive and snap at loved ones for no reason, then it's a sure sign of a burnout. If you are feeling depersonalization, that is feeling detached from your life and ability to control your life, you feel inner emptiness or anxiety, you are turning to thrill-seeking behaviors to cope with this emotion, such as substance use, gambling or overeating, this could be a burnout. So now let's have a look on what causes burnout. The main reasons for this burnout is your excessive drive or ambition. It's common if you have started a new job or undertaking a novel task. Your too much ambitiousness leads you to a burnout. Ambitions are pushing you work harder, neglecting your own needs. You are sacrificing self-care like sleep, exercise and not eating well. Also, you have made work the sole focus of your life at the expense of family, friends and hobbies. If you are continually exposed to high levels of stress, you can experience a burnout. According to the World Health Organization, the areas of work model life drawn from research by Christina Mashla and Michelle from the University of California identified workload as one of the 6 areas where you could experience imbalances that could lead to a burnout. When you have a workload that matches your capacity, you can effectively get your work done, have opportunities for rest and recovery, and find time for professional growth and development. When you chronically feel overloaded, these opportunities to restore balance don't exist. Let's have a quick look on what Dr. John Torres has to tell us about stress and burnout. So what are the symptoms of burnout and how we can recognize if you are burned out, and what are some immediate measures to get over it?
People hear the symptoms are like, okay, I've been there before. I've
Yes.
seen it. And we all have stress. Stress goes hand in hand with what we do every single day, but we're able to handle that stress, and that's what we do as humans. We get the stress, we handle it, we get it under control, come back the next day, do it over and over again. If that stress goes continuous, then it starts turning into burnout, and burnout is one of those things that doesn't go away. And I always tell people, you can tell you have burnout if you simply just don't want to go into work, don't want to be there, or having issues with work. And so again, the two go hand in hand. Stress is something we can handle and control. Burnout, not necessarily. Foremost, you want to recognize the symptoms. You want to recognize the cynicism, the fact that you're at work and you simply don't want to be there. You're burning out. You're not able to enjoy the things you used to enjoy. Try and take time off from work if you can. And that means just completely disconnecting. And like you said, over the 3-day holiday, hopefully people were able to do that and they were able to get away a little bit, and that can reinvigorate you. And if worse comes to worse and none of these seem to be working, then simply look for another job if you can. Consider changing jobs.
So any tips for managers to prevent their staff from getting burnout?
So management can do a couple of things, and one of them is they can give you time off where they don't contact you and they don't get a hold of you, and that's probably the biggest thing, because we've all been there on the weekends where we're answering emails and taking care of things. If you can just check out completely, and I tell people, imagine if you just went on a camping trip and you couldn't answer your cell phone for 3 days, or you couldn't get an email for 3 days. That's the kind of break you need, and it might not be 3 days long, but you need it every now and then. And if you're getting to the point, look at your employees. If they look like they're starting to burn out, if they're starting to be cynical, if they're starting to be a little snippy at work and arguing with each other, productivity is going down, that's probably a good sign that burnout's starting to happen, and that's when a good manager needs to come in and say, we need to take it.
How employees could discuss the burnout issues with their managers?
So there's little things you can do on the job to help out. And again, first and foremost, recognize that burnout is happening and try and see if you can disconnect a little bit. Talk to your managers and say, hey, this is one of those things I really want to take care of. I really want to get under control. And then when you go home, a big thing to think about is simply get away from this for a while. Even if it's just for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, disconnect from your cell phone so you're not constantly on it. And that doesn't just necessarily mean work, but social media as well.
Even if you could
Get away
take a
from
little
it all.
walk.
You don't want to live to work, you want to work to live.
Amen.
That's the big thing.
Yes, and that's the take-home message for today's discussion. Don't live to work, but work to live. And that brings us to the end of the story. In the coming episodes, we'll be talking more about this issue. Till then, please do subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching and have a great day ahead. Thank you.